the coxswain is the person in charge of a boat, particularly its navigation and steering. The etymology of the word gives a literal meaning of boat servant since it comes from cock, a cockboat or other small vessel kept aboard a ship, and swain, an Old English term derived from the Old Norse swain meaning boy or servant. Rowing. In rowing, the coxswain sits in either the bow or the stern of the boat and verbally controls the boat's steering, speed, timing, and fluidity. The primary duty of a coxswain is to ensure the safety of those in the boat. In a race setting, the coxswain is tasked with motivating the crew as well as steering as straight a course as possible to minimize the distance to the finish line. Coxswains are also responsible for knowing proper rowing technique and running drills to improve technique. Navy. In the Royal Navy in the days of sail, the coxswain was a petty officer or chief petty officer who commanded a captain's or admiral's barge. Later the coxswain was the senior chief petty officer aboard a smaller vessel such as a corvette or submarine, who was responsible for the steering and also assumed the duties which would be performed by the chief boatswain's mate and master-at-arms aboard larger vessels. In World War II pilots of landing craft were referred to as coxswains. In the Royal Canadian Navy, the appointment of coxswain is given to the senior non-commissioned officer aboard a ship, the equivalent to a command master chief petty officer in the U.S. Navy. For larger vessels such as a destroyer, frigate or protector-class replenishment oiler, the coxswain holds the rank of chief petty officer first class. For smaller vessels such as a submarine or Kingston-class coastal defense vessel, the coxswain usually holds the rank of chief petty officer second class. The term was also sometimes used aboard merchant ships for the senior petty officer in charge of the helm. The fictional Israel Hands, for example, was the coxswain of the Hispaniola in Treasure Island. Naval cadets. In Royal Navy sections of the Combined Cadet Force, the rank of cadet coxswain is the highest that a cadet can achieve, except in the rare occurrence that they are promoted to the rank of cadet under-officer. The rank of coxswain equates to the rank of cadet warrant officer in the Royal Air Force sections, and the rank of cadet regimental sergeant major in the Army sections. In the Royal Canadian Sea Cadets, the position of coxswain is often appointed to the cadet with a rank of cadet chief petty officer first class. This would be the equivalent of the position of regimental sergeant major in the Royal Canadian Army Cadets held by a cadet chief warrant officer. United States Coast Guard. In the United States Coast Guard and United States Coast Guard Auxiliary, the coxswain has the authority to direct all boat and crew activities during the mission and modify planned missions to provide for the safety of the boat and the crew. Before a person can be assigned to be a coxswain, they have to go through a qualification procedure, be certified and maintain the certification to be a coxswain. Upon certification, they are awarded the coxswain badge. This qualification procedure requires a significant amount of practice in boat handling as well as previous experience as a boat crew member. Any Coast Guard member may become a coxswain upon proper qualification. An advancement to BM2 requires that the individual qualify as and maintain certification as a coxswain. A commanding officer or officer in charge of a land-based unit with boats has to be certified and stay certified as a coxswain on all boats in the unit or be relieved of command. A coxswain is assigned to a boat by the command authority and can only be relieved by the commanding officer, executive officer, or senior officer present. The Coxswain unregistered trademark S authority is independent of rank and or seniority in relation to any other person on board the boat. Unlike the commanding officer of a cutter or ship, a coxswain does not automatically have command authority. See also, Navy boat crew, references. External links, U.S. Navy coxswain's responses to hails.